Rebellious Mind.
Rebellious Minds presents a new podcast experience for the ultimate fan called Comic Cast, hosted by T'Challa BP74, where you can get breakdowns, reviews, and all the inside information.
August 9th, Episode 3, Comic Cast.
Greetings, everyone. This is your boy, T'Challa BP74. We got another guest in house tonight returning. Go ahead, say who you are.
Keitano.
Welcome to Comic Cast. We have some amazing things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to get into a lot of rumors that's been circulating in the entertainment industry. And boy, do we have a show for you guys, so get ready. First up, we want to talk about the Thor Love and Thunder that's going on, starring Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth. They have a slight change in how this show is going to be portrayed, because apparently now Jane Foster is going to be the new Thor, which I don't know if they're going to do it like they did it in the comic books, where she had brain cancer and she picked up the hammer because she was worthy to pick up the hammer, and she ended up becoming the new Thor. Now, here's the thing. If they do it that way, I think it would be great, because they can actually tie in and make it seem like, hey, her and Thor broke up because, she said, hey, we can't be together, blah, 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 but she never told him that she had brain cancer, and that's why she broke up with him. It would make so much more sense if they go that route, but being that this is something new that they're doing, even though it's a similar character or the same character, then I don't know if they're going to go that way. What do you think?
Well, this is something we mentioned last week about, the brain cancer and the possibility that her having the ether in her body
caused the brain
cancer.
Yeah.
Right? And so that would be... And I don't get a chance to read all these different stories. I do rely on you a lot because you're my encyclopedia. You tell me, hey, you should read XYZ. I read XYZ, and I say it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
But this time, I happened to have read a comic about Jane, and she's having a conversation with Falcon, I believe, and he's asking her, like, why don't you just be Thor all the time? Mm-hmm. He's like, because you're healthy then. Mm-hmm. And every time you put the hammer down and you go back to being Jane, all the work from the chemotherapy and everything is just erased.
Yes.
So why not just continue to just be Thor?
How far in that story have you gotten?
I believe I completed that particular one, and I'm not sure because I've been reading a lot lately. Okay. But
I'm not gonna give you no spoilers, but I'm gonna tell you I want you to keep reading. Okay. It makes for a good read. Yeah. And so it would be interesting if they did that. I don't expect them to go that deep with Jane, because Marvel doesn't usually go that deep. But it would be interesting if they say the ether is what gave her cancer. Yeah, it would. I mean, at this point in the game, with everything that they have on the board, I could see them doing a lot. Here's the thing. Marvel plays the long game. And we're gonna every now and again throughout this segment, we're gonna be bringing up hey, the long game that Marvel has played.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be like, hey, hashtag long game, because they've been playing this long game for a while with everything that they do. They just don't drop something and that's it. It ties to something else and then to something else, and it's a route for something else.
I do have a question though.
Okay, I might have an answer.
So in order to wield Mjolnir, if I'm saying it right.
No, Mjolnir.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You have to be of, pure of heart, right?
No.
What is it?
You don't have to be pure of heart. You have to be worthy.
Right, you have to be worthy, right?
Yes.
And so, obviously, Thor is worthy. Captain America is worthy. So that people do
Someone else have picked it up.
Well, we're saying Jane's going to pick it up, right?
Someone else have picked it up.
I'm going with Jane.
Okay.
So that we don't end up going down this girl power thing and people say, oh, Marvel is just doing it to appease the female crowd. Can you tell us why Jane is actually worthy?
I want you to read the story, man. And for all the listeners out there, I want them to read the story too, because it makes for interesting read.
Yeah.
And what she does as Thor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, come on, let's be honest. When Odin's son slash Thor picks up the hammer, for one, I mean, he's a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to sound chauvinistic or anything, but dudes are physical. They're physical people.
And,
all they, you know what I'm saying? So they're breaking down stuff, tearing up stuff with a hammer. Jane, you see a little bit, transparency and a little bit of depth into the character. And
well, we actually watched, me and the kids last night watched Dark World.
Okay.
And there are obviously, you know, if you go back and watch something, you end up seeing something that you didn't really see before, especially that having seen the entire timeline now and coming back. And she really does lay her life on the line.
She does. But in the books, it's so much more. And I'm trying I'm trying here to just, you know, say without saying, because I want you to finish reading the story, and then maybe we could dive into that, because this is a TV show, and it could probably go someplace totally left field with it.
No, it's movie.
Huh?
It's movie.
Well, it's a movie, but the Thor... Oh, yes, that's right. It is a movie. It's not the show. Yeah. So, well, and here's
I'm not
the thing.
going to make you tell me. I'm
not going to give it up. But there is so many things going on with it, because there's the whole segment or the whole piece of Amora the Enchantress that's rumored to be there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And imagine a seductive Loki.
That's Enchantress.
That's Enchantress. She's magical. She's, you see what I'm saying? She's coming with them kind of powers, you know, but she's in love with Thor.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Tessa Thompson is Valkyrie.
Yes.
She is the king.
Yes.
Of New Asgard. And so, if I heard correctly, because I didn't see it, but I heard through the grapevine that she says something about needing a queen.
Yes.
Okay.
So, when she
I didn't get the question yet, though.
Okay. All right.
Is Marvel simply checking a box here?
Yes. And no. And I'm not going to contradict myself, but this is why I say yes and this is why I say no.
Okay.
Let me go with the no first.
Okay.
It's in the books.
Okay.
They explore that in the books. Okay?
Okay.
But again, was the writer of some of the books checking a box? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, this is where I say
yes. That's
2
levels deep now.
That's 2 levels deep. Now, this is why I say yes for the movie, that they're checking a box. Because now they're trying to do, I'm going to please everyone.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a slippery slope. You're trying to please everybody.
It is, because you can never please everybody.
You can't please everybody.
But I believe now in entertainment and what comes on the big screen and what comes on your screen in your home, there are boxes that has to be checked.
Yeah.
And if those boxes are not checked,
you're going to hear something from somebody about it.
Yeah. Hello. So this way it's a little bit different. You know, so we're looking forward to that. Now, here's the whole thing. Valkyrie is supposed to be bisexual. And because of the bisexuality, I think they're going to explore that a little bit. I think it's interesting that if they do explore her homosexuality / bisexuality side, you know, it will please the LBGT group or the foundation of the LBGT. They have, and this, again, I say this because, you know, I like to fact check, and anybody who don't believe me, they can go ahead and fact check. Last year, 2018 February, when Black Panther dropped, the LBGT got involved in a lot of backlash because there was no gay scene in the movie. Now, there was a gay scene in the movie, but that scene was cut from the movie. It didn't make it to the movie because they didn't feel like it was that important. Okay. And it's that scene
and sexuality on anybody's part was irrelevant in Black Panther.
Irrelevant. Because it didn't matter.
You didn't need to see nobody kiss nobody, really, in that film.
And if you looked at it, the only time a kiss was shared was at the end of the movie.
At the end of the movie. And this is T'Challa's story, so... my challenge with television, and I'm sure it bleeds over into the movies, is when they're checking a box simply to check a box and not push the storyline. Mm-hmm. And so when you have like you would take any of those ABC shows,
okay,
right?
Uh-huh.
Especially the ones that had a heavy African American influence. Mm-hmm. Any of those shows, there's like something. There's a scene. Uh-huh. Someone knocks at the door.
Yeah.
A guy answers the door, but it's a guy on the other side of the door, and they just start getting it on. Mm-hmm. And it's like, where did this even come from? Like, what does this have to do with the story that's being told at the time?
Well, I mean, we're in 2019.
Yeah.
And that sells. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's so...
It could be very irrelevant to the story, but they gotta check it out.
If it was heterosexual, I'd have the same problem, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
And this is why I said, in an aspect like that, yes, it is just a check a box thing. Because even some of those stuff like that has no merit to the movie or to the show or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
now, if we see Tessa truly like fall in love with someone and that someone happened to be female, it's like I don't have a problem with that because they show all the different sides.
Yeah.
I saw this post on Instagram and I wish I had saved it, but it said that even though these characters are not real, they taught me how to love, how to lead. I saw that. It's like, so they may not be real to you,
but they're real.
But they are real to me.
Yeah.
And I thought that was love is a part of the Marvel universe, and I think you have to show it.
It was because of love why Tony made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. Because
he wasn't fighting for himself anymore.
Right.
He fell in love with mankind because when his journey first started, he didn't care about mankind. He was an arrogant, rich playboy, philanthropist. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't care about that.
He didn't care nothing about that.
But throughout his journey, because if you looked at it, this first 10 years have been his arc. It's just things was going on within the world that involve other people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But throughout that whole journey, Tony, he learned how to fall in love with his assistant who took care of him for so many years.
I mean, one could argue that he taught Nebula how to just be
human. He brought out the humanity in her. You see what I'm saying? Just sitting there playing
a game with her.
Yeah, and like he called her meanie or whatever, but she learned how to be compassionate, how to care.
She like when she goes, I want to do this again. Like it was something like I had like that was fun, and she didn't know what humanity was.
Man. She didn't, because all she knew was pleasing her dad.
Yeah.
You and I have had this conversation many times before. Out of all the characters who made the ultimate 180, you chose Nebula.
I did choose, and I
didn't. I choose Tony, and we're gonna agree to this.
Right, because if we don't have the time to argue our points in front of everyone about why we chose who we chose.
And maybe one segment we can, and we could give everybody, a voice to say, what do you think?
That would be interesting.
You see what I'm saying? But we're gonna rehash and we're gonna bring this.
But I will still say that he was down for giving his life from the very first Avengers. So giving his life was nothing new to him. That's all I'm saying.
But if it's like that, then all the Avengers were like that, because all the Avengers wanted to give their life to save mankind.
Except
at one point or another.
All right, we can't do this here.
It won't go that way.
I want to do this here, but we can't do this here.
Yeah. We're gonna get back.
But we will come back to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So next topic that we have on a segment is the Falcon and Captain America Winter Soldier or Falcon Winter Soldier show.
Yes.
Okay. And there's some things that's been floating around. And, I saw it a few weeks ago and I was like, okay, this is something that I have to tackle. Mm-hmm. But in the show, it's rumored that the government doesn't want Sam Wilson, a.k.a. Falcon, a.k.a. the new Captain America, to be Captain America.
Yeah. I hope not. I hope this is not the way this story is going to go. I hope that it is not any part of the story. And the reason why is because Bucky is an enemy of the state.
He is.
And so is Sam.
So
if I am an enemy, just because I saved the universe, that buys me nothing for tomorrow's government.
True.
You know, because they will turn on you in a heartbeat.
But okay. But let me ask you a question. With the climate of what's going on today in the government or with the government, wouldn't it make sense for them to use that?
A radical doesn't care about what anybody else thinks about what happens in our ranks. And they're radicals. They've been radicals for years.
Okay.
For years. Because from Civil War, the end of Civil War, till they all come back to fight against Thanos. How many years was that?
Like maybe 2-3 years.
Alright, so let's say it's 3. For 3 years, they have been enemies of the state.
Yes.
I don't like if Cap wants to give me the shield. Who cares what you say?
Here's the thing. Yes, here's the thing. But do they not get a pass because they saved mankind?
They should.
Or because they brought back mankind? Because remember, everybody that was blipped came back.
It depends on who goes into leadership.
Okay. Well, the government should.
They absolutely, everyone should get a pardon.
But it goes back to what Cap said.
Yeah.
If we have the ball in our court, we can make that judgment. But when it's in their court, they have agendas.
And we argued this last week, right? Or the last time we talked. And I said that the spirit of the Accords, not necessarily the people who are enforcing it, but the spirit of the Accords, I think, is something that's necessary because you can be a hero, do something that's a hero-like thing, and there can be collateral damage because what you did was the wrong thing to do.
True.
It's not about the intention.
True.
And Accords, the spirit of the Accords is to prevent things like that from happening.
While we're talking about the Accords, I want to mention something about this show that just came out. It's called The Boys. I think when we had did the last segment of Comic Cast, I had said something about it was called Heroes versus Civilians or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just want to clear that up for all the listeners and let you know it's the correct name for the show is called The Boys. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on Prime Video. If you have that app or that streaming service, go in there and watch it. It is amazing. It is about heroes and the everyday life of heroes, and sometimes they cause collateral damage.
They are, well, first of all, Heroes, I mean not Heroes, but The Boys does have a comic out, by the way. And if you have Amazon's comic service, you can read those as a part of the service. And I just started that. But The Boys is like what reality would look like if people just started having powers tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's a scary
thing. It is. I mean, you gotta also think about it too. Not everybody has that noble spirit.
Yeah. They have a spirit of self. Like, we are in a society where we're a capitalistic society.
2/3 of us are selfish.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I have my own selfish, desires.
Man, we all created selfish.
So, now thank God there's these hero movies that try to teach us how to be, if you were given that level of power, how to be responsible with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, some people look, I saw those movies and I'm about to go get mine.
The average person would. They would abuse it. They would try to, get wealthy quick or get rich quick. Or, I mean, for instance, can we jump? Can we jump and come back? Remember that movie that came out a while back with Will Smith called Hancock?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real.
So imagine if somebody had that kind of power, the kind of things they would do if they wasn't driven by doing good.
I tell you what's another one, and this wasn't all that great of a movie, but there was a scene in there that reminds me of this conversation, which was Jumper.
Yes.
And he's like, did you think you was the only one?
Yes. I think Christian Haydenston is the dude.
Yes.
Yeah. Same dude that plays Anakin in the prequels. Of Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah. You know. So people would, but again, the government.
That's the reason why you have to have things like those accords.
Yeah.
You know, but the problem with a movie show like The Boys is there's always someone that we haven't figured out their weakness yet.
Yeah. And we will.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm looking forward to seeing this Winter Soldier and Falcon show. And again, can't wait to see Baron Zemo in his new getup. So that means somewhere, somehow, he gets out of lockup. Because remember, the CIA have him right now in lockup.
Right. Now that aspect of the story is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the character outside of the movies, I thought that he realized the error of his ways and kind of went on to leave
No, bro. He has been Captain America rival for many years. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they're gonna go that route, he's still gonna be Captain America rival.
Yeah.
Just not Steve.
Right. Sam is gonna be like, why is this dude on my case?
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Why is this dude after me?
Which, if you think about it, in Civil War, Sam was like, hey man, remember?
Yeah.
And then Bucky came from around the corner and whap started wailing.
Hey, Sam is going to be treated like Captain America because he's been Captain America's guy for a long time.
Yeah.
So wherever he went, he's been right there. So
I mean, I think the way how they're going to pass it off, I mean, I think, you know, Heavy's the head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
And Cap is now Sam. Well, Sam is now Cap, and he has to carry not just that shield, but that shield comes with a lot of weight as far as responsibilities.
Correct. I gotta admit, man, I was not a Captain America fan growing up, and there's so much that I did not know about Captain America.
Captain America was one of my first loves in the comics.
Yeah.
It was one of the first comic books that I've ever read.
I was introduced to X-Men first.
No, I was
in Daredevil.
Yeah, so I hold a special place in my heart for Cap. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, they've truly painted him in a way that makes me really enjoy the character. Now, when I go back and read things where he's like some of the main characters in there, or just he's the one running the show, you can understand why this guy is the guy.
He is. And I love what they did with him in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because when you see him, he's not Captain America. He's Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
And everybody think he becomes Captain America in Captain America 1, First Avenger. He does not. He becomes Captain America in Avengers, is where he really becomes Captain America.
Why should we listen to you?
Go watch the movie for yourself.
And then, no, I'm saying that when there's a scene where he tells the police what to do, and it's like, why should we listen to you?
And then he does what he do,
right?
And then they like do exactly
what he said.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then because they realize at that point, like this man knows what he's talking about,
right?
And he ain't just calling plays from behind the battle.
He's right in the front.
He's in the front.
Hey, you always say your favorite scene is when he and Black Panther
took off running. They ain't with the rest of the crew,
right?
Or he ain't standing up on a hill telling them what to do. The two of them out in front.
Yeah.
It goes back to the very first time that I saw anything Black Panther was an animated show.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reginald Hudlin, it was Reginald Hudlin's run.
Yeah.
And the dude that was actually doing it was, at the time, it was a BET segment.
Okay.
And in the segment, it started off with Captain America fighting Black Panther, but he wasn't fighting T'Challa.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he was actually fighting the granddad.
Oh, it wasn't T'Chaka.
It wasn't T'Chaka. It was Azari the Wise he was fighting.
Okay.
And Azari said to him, he's like, you will become to your country what I am to mine. You see what I'm saying? So when I saw it was like so many, like again, man, this is why Black Panther is up there for me, because there's so many things in that movie that take me back to source material.
Yeah.
Every 10 to 15 minutes, there's source material that's on the big screen.
Yeah.
So when you see that in Infinity War, even though that's not the Black Panther movie, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, gems here from the books, gems here from this story, gems. Which that's another thing that's Marvel is great at.
Hey, one thing that nobody can argue is that Wakanda shows up when they show up.
When they show up. When they show up, you know they show up, and you know what's up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think they did a great job. I had this conversation back in, I want to say it was 2013 or 2014. It was a while back.
Yeah.
And we were sitting inside the office. It was me and my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody walked in. And before somebody walked in, we was talking about Black Panther. And he said, I bet you nobody don't know who Black Panther is. So in order for them to do Black Panther right, they're going to have to drop nuggets and slowly roll him out. Mm-hmm. And then show him in somebody's movie. Mm-hmm. And then give him his movie.
Yeah.
And they did that.
And it worked out.
And it worked out
perfectly. Yeah.
Because when he shows up in Civil War, now granted there's been nuggets, hashtag long game, from way back.
Yeah.
First time Captain America 1, nugget. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 2, nugget. We're going to come back to Iron Man 2 later on.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But again, Marvel plays the long game.
All the time.
You see what I'm saying? So they know what they're doing when they do.
One thing I like about the whole strategy is that they're not committed to the nuggets. They're just dropping them so that way, if the connection needs to be made, it can be made all the way back here when we randomly drop this nugget.
No, you just watched the Thor movie, right?
Yeah.
The second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You remember the first one? They showed the Infinity Gauntlet in the first one.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
They talked about these things.
Yep.
Gems.
And then it was like in Ragnarok, it was like, oh, it's fake.
It's fake. And that's when you're like, okay, because I just saw Thanos put his hand in there in Age of Ultron, which came out in Phase 2. Yeah. At the end of Phase 2. So you're like, oh, okay, makes sense. You know, and so on and so on.
It's the Marvel universe is so big that sometimes they'll make an event seem like they're back to back, but it was really like
really long.
No, it was a long time ago, or it was like the distance was so far away because when Thor goes to Neverdalir, that didn't just happen. Mm-mm. That happened a while ago. But no one ever goes there, so no one knows that they got hit until Thor has to show up and need something. Yeah. How long
did Thanos go there and wreak havoc? And how long did he stay there? Nobody never knew.
Right.
Because he was there long enough to make the glove, right?
Right.
But let me ask you a question. Was it the only thing he got was the glove? What if that very same sword he got there in the Neverdalir?
Hey, I can see that, because, I mean, the way he wielded that thing up in Endgame, I was like, how was he able to break the shield? What I'm saying?
And if you think about it, Thanos is what? How old is Thanos?
I don't know how old he is. I just know that in Endgame, we got the 9-year younger version of Thanos.
Yes, but Thanos is like, I want to say he's like a 1,000-year-old being or 50.
Well, I mean, he's half eternal, half deviant. So
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so he's not new to this game.
He's not. But I believe with him wanting to fight with the ultimate weapon, that would be the sword that cracked Captain America's so-called indestructible shield. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
It was.
I mean, come on, man. We saw this shield get hit with the hammer, bruh.
Yeah.
In the first Avengers.
And knocked that thing right off.
You see what I'm saying? Nothing. It knocked Thor down. It flattened the entire area around there.
Right.
Couldn't take licks like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? In Age of Ultron, we started off by seeing Thor hit it, Cap use the vibration of it to knock everybody down, flip over, a tank and stuff like that. Right. But then Thanos come and hack it to bits. So the weapon he uses, what is the weapon made of that he used? No one knows. And how old is that weapon?
You know who didn't care about that weapon? Wanda.
No, that weapon didn't matter to Wanda.
Wanda did not care about.
You see what I'm saying?
That.
None of it. So it's like,
Which is why I cannot wait to see
what she brings.
Show. I gotta those types of powers. Mm-hmm. I've always enjoyed those types of powers. I always like Phoenix.
Well, I don't think that they've explored just how strong she really is.
I cannot wait to see what they do with her from the movie to WandaVision. Yeah, it's gonna be hot.
Listen, man. When it comes, it's gonna hit us. Wanda is not gonna be playing. She got her own thing coming out, and then she got the thing with that Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna really have a chance to explore just how strong she really is, because I don't think that they have done her justice in her power and her strength, and I don't think they have actually talked about how strong she really is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they show her shredding Thanos to bits. For him to, you know what I'm saying, act like a little girl for a minute and be like, oh, rain, fire. You know?
I had to point that out to my girls.
Yeah.
That how strong she is, but also you look at what she did in Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know, Koye was like, for all this time, why was she up there?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We could have been done with this a while ago.
Done with it. You see what I'm saying? To the point where we probably could have prepped better for Thanos. You know, but yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what what she's gonna be bringing to the big screen and to her show. All right, next up we have another rumor. This one came to me about maybe a day or so, a day shy of a week ago. Mm-hmm. It was something that The Rock said. First of all, I'm gonna start off by telling you it's clobbering time. Okay, there's this rumor floating around that Dwayne The Rock Johnson has been in talks with Marvel, or is trying to be scheduled to be in talks with Marvel, or being eyed for the Benjamin Grimm, aka the Thing, role with the future Fantastic Four that Kevin Feige, the architect of MCU, have mentioned when he was on the stage for San Diego Comic-Con. And it's how The Rock said it. He came out and he was like, hey, I want to say congratulations to Marvel / Disney for everything that's been going on over there, your success. You guys broke all the box office records in movie history and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, to the architect, Mr. Kevin Feige, congratulations. I know your execs and my execs, our reps, have been trying to get us together to have dinner. Mm-hmm. And you got to take what you hear.
Yeah.
Because
if anybody's going to go public with, because that is more like a call out too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's go have dinner and talk about me being in this one of your movies, yes. Right? And so with that, all I can say is it is time. It's time. If you look at all the people who played a character in the MCU, it's time for us to have Dwayne The Rock Johnson somewhere in there. And it only makes sense to make him Ben Grimm. Because Ben Grimm ain't stupid.
Nope.
And he is as hard as a rock.
He is.
So
but here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit late, because I would have loved to see Ben Grimm and the Hulk go pound for pound.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Yeah.
Being that the history.
Yeah, because you're not going to see that. That you're not going to see. Yeah, because, he is evolved.
Yeah.
He's evolved now.
Yeah.
But, I don't mind seeing him punch somebody else. You're not getting a Hulk, but let's just get a good story. Let's get a good Fantastic Four story first. Because we've seen
the two disasters that came before.
And we've seen what's possible with all the Spider-Man. Spider-Man is just freaking
phenomenal.
I teared up.
Yeah.
During Far From Home. And I didn't even think that I was going to be all that into it, right? But it was phenomenal.
It was.
With that, it's time for us to have The Rock. And I will also say this, is that, side note, there was a picture a long, long time ago, I want to say maybe 2011, of Queen Latifah playing the character from Little Mermaid. Ursula.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know that now Queen Latifah is going to play Ursula.
Wow.
And they're making her costume look like the painting, bro.
We're gonna do a segment on the Little Mermaid. That's on the bucket list, so it's gonna be coming down the pipe here within the next few weeks. Yeah. Because I definitely want to dive into that and talk about some stuff.
So it's not Marvel, but like Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
That's a long. 2011 was a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
You know.
Yeah.
And so it's time for us.
Hashtag long game.
Yeah, it's time for us to get The Rock in there.
Hashtag long game. Yeah. And the caliber of person that he is too.
Yeah.
The caliber of actor and biggest, hardest
the
worker.
Hard work that he puts
in Hollywood.
in.
Yeah.
He took his brand to a completely different level and took his body to a completely different level. So it's time.
Yeah, it is. All right. So we have the final thing on the board today that we're going to talk about. But before I get into that, I have to come back to the hashtag long game. Let's take it back to Iron Man 2. There's a scene in Iron Man 2, and I tell people this all the time. I've been saying it for a while.
Okay.
When Tony Stark, you watch Iron Man 2 numerous times?
Yes.
Okay. You remember when Tony Stark is sitting in the warehouse with Nick Fury? And he's reading off all of his behavior and everything.
Yes,
and then
yes.
he says, Iron Man approved, Tony Stark not. He's like, how can you approve me but not approve me?
Right.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a lot of gems and a lot of nuggets and a lot of hashtag long game trinkets that they put out there that a lot of people miss.
Okay.
Now, Iron Man 2 came out, what year was that? 2010 or 2011?
Not sure.
Okay. One of them years it came out. It was in phase 1. Because it went Iron Man 1,
Yep.
then Incredible Hulk, then Iron Man 2. Okay. So we see these little dots on the screen, these little yellow dots, and they was of the world map.
Yeah.
And these yellow dots was everywhere. Okay? And those yellow dots was potential people with extraordinary abilities.
Yep.
Okay?
By the way, I owe you an argument about part of that.
Okay.
So
We're gonna get, if you want,
Yeah.
we could tackle an argument.
well, I'm gonna bring it up now, but I'm not gonna address it now.
Okay, all right.
And I believe that there is a timeline discrepancy in the MCU
Uh-huh.
because they talked about Stephen Strange
Uh-huh.
before Stephen Strange had even gotten into an accident.
How do you know?
Because that conversation was prior to Avengers.
Wrong. That when they talk about Stephen Strange, where is Stephen Strange?
At the hospital. Working at the hospital.
Was he? Because I'm about to break it down to you.
We can't do it now because we got to talk about the other thing.
We got to talk about the other thing. Okay, we're gonna talk about this after this because now I really want to get into it. All right. So, hashtag long game. When he's in the warehouse, there's dots on the screen, and these dots are again pointing out people with abilities or possible superheroes, etc., etc. Okay, This is the second mention of Wakanda. Okay, first mention is with Cap Shield. Okay, next mention is when you see the little dot over Africa, over where Wakanda is on the map. Doesn't say Wakanda, the dot is just over there. There's a dot in New Mexico, which was the Thor thing.
Okay.
There was a dot, I think it was up in the ice or something, and I think that was where Captain America was. There was one out in California, I think that's where Tony was. There was dots all over the places, okay? There was also a dot in the ocean. No landmass was there.
So you're saying that must be...
Hold on. Before I say what it must be, I want to tackle the rumor.
Okay.
The rumor circulating that Black Panther 2, because we already know and it's confirmed that Black Panther 2 is coming.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that Marvel has been eyeing Henry Gooding, the star of Crazy Rich Asians,
Okay.
to play the role of Namor.
Submariner.
Submariner. I think he was the second person in the Marvel comics.
Okay, so I know very little about Submariner because my brother, he liked him for some strange reason. I thought he looked a little fishy.
Weird.
Little fishy.
Little fish. He's a fish.
Right.
Fish that
So
can fly.
and like he had the flat top and it's like it's the 80s and he's got a flat top. It wasn't really like flat top time, you know, so but here's what I do know of Submariner. That he and the Atlanteans do not like Wakandans.
No.
At all.
No. And for somebody who have read Black Panther comics, you know the kind of beef that Atlantis and Wakanda have had for years.
All right, so just to set up the audience the way that it makes sense for everyone, please explain why and what should we read as to why this relationship is so bad.
Okay. let's go a little bit further back. We're gonna go back to the Illuminati, and I'm gonna try to summarize it really quick before I can get into the meat and potatoes. The Illuminati started a while back, where all the leaders of all the great groups got together and say, we're gonna form a secret society, so we'll let everybody here know what's going on with our group, etc., etc., etc. Reed Richards was there, head of the Fantastic Four. Tony Stark was there, head of the Avengers.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was there, head of the Mystic World, the Mystic Arts.
Beast.
No, before Beast was there, Xavier was there, head of the X-Men.
Okay.
They had asked Black Panther to be there to be head of the Wakandans, and he said no. And they all looked at him weird. And he told them, this is a cancer. You guys don't see it before it blow up in your face. Fast forward, it did blow up in their face. He was right. Okay?
But doesn't he become a part of the Illuminati as well?
He reformed the Illuminati when the parallel Earth started colliding and the universes started imploding.
Okay.
So to save mankind, he reformed the Illuminati with one goal, and that was to save mankind.
Okay.
Now, there's a story in between that part that is called Avengers versus X-Men, AVX. There's 12 issues. In that, the Phoenix Force was coming to Earth to get Scott, which is aka Cyclops, and Jean Grey's daughter. Her name was Hope Summers. The Phoenix Force was coming to get her. They didn't want the Phoenix Force to get her because it got her mom. Okay? So they hid her. They moved her. The Avengers went, got her, and moved her.
Okay.
When it did that and the Phoenix Force came, she wasn't there, so it inhabited 5 X-Men.
And those
5 mutants.
And those mutants are...
And those 5 mutants was Colossal, his sister Magic, Cyclops, Emma Frost, and Namor. Okay? And when the Avengers took Hope to hide her, because at first they actually went to arrest her, and she was like, well, I didn't do nothing, and the X-Men was like, she didn't do nothing. They were like, okay,
right.
Well, let's just take her because we know this stuff is coming, blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Well, when the Phoenix Force got him, you know, the X-Men and the X-Men and the Avengers became foes, and they started fighting one another.
Okay.
Which was very horrific for a lot of them because people like Black Panther and Storm, who were Avengers and X-Men, were married. Throughout that story, they got a divorce. Okay? But when the Avengers went to hide Hope, they took her to Wakanda with the other Avengers. And when they took her to Wakanda, being that Namor had the Phoenix Force in him, he took the power of the Phoenix Force, grabbed the 7 seas and took it to Wakanda and flooded Wakanda and killed many of the Wakandans that were there.
All right, so now, can I not argue that that is a result of the Phoenix Force and not a doing of Namor?
No, because Namor was still in control. The Phoenix Force was just imbued in him. The Phoenix Force didn't tell him to do nothing. Spider-Man says it's better. With great powers come what?
Great responsibility.
Great responsibility. So if you got great powers, bro, calm it down a bit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Don't take it over here and kill all these
floods Wakanda.
He floods
and
Wakanda.
kills Wakanda.
Yeah, he kills a whole lot of Wakandans. At the time, T'Challa is not the king of Wakanda. His sister Shuri is the queen of Wakanda.
Okay.
So she takes it in her hands and she's like, yo, blood for blood. You kill my Wakandans, I'm going to kill your Atlantans. And she sends the Zoraze, the dogs of war. In the movies, they call them the war dogs. Okay, these are them boys in the white.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Would love to see how they do them in the movies or if they're going to bring them in Black Panther 2.
They got to bring them now.
But yeah, they have to now because, you know. And it would be great if they have some of them embedded down there in Atlantis. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If that's the route they go. But they went down to Atlantis and they slaughtered the Wakanda. I mean, they slaughtered the Atlanteans. So this back and forth beef been going on for a long time. To the point that when Thanos and the Black Order shows up, Namor now says because of what Wakanda did to the Atlanteans, he's like, I'm going to get them back. So he sends the Black Order and Thanos to Wakanda. Not because what they want is really in Wakanda, but just because he wants Wakanda to be destroyed.
Wow.
So if
they really don't like each other.
They don't.
And they're both heroes.
No, Namor is an anti-hero.
He's considered when he had his own comic book.
He did, and he fought off some Nazis and stuff like that, which was heroic. But I ain't calling him no hero right now. He's an enemy of Wakanda, bro. That's what it is. All right, that's what it is.
Like, you don't like Namor.
I don't like Namor. I don't like Namor. I think that if Marvel do bring him, I think they're gonna do him justice. They have done every single.
So in other words, if you hate Namor on the screen, they did their job.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
No, correction. If I hate Namor as a character,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have done their job.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna love him on the screen. Because I know that Marvel gonna do him justice.
Right. But if you hate the character,
But if I hate the character,
yeah.
they have done the justice. There is also other rumors floating around that more than likely we are going to see Kraven the Hunter. And if we do, that's something I'm looking forward to. But we're gonna tackle that a little later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now, this debate that you wanted to have with me, can we come back there?
All right. So let me just restate,
All right.
because I now remember some details. In Captain America,
Which one?
Winter Soldier,
Yes.
which does happen before Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
or does it happen right after Avengers?
What? Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier happens after the first Avengers.
Happens after the first Avengers.
But it's still not 5 years after the Avengers.
Correct.
Or is it?
No, it's not.
So if it's not before the Avengers, no, let me back up.
You said it right because you realized the error of your ways.
No. Even still, when they were eyeing Doctor Strange, he was still an employee of the hospital.
He was. In Avengers.
In Winter
Soldier-
Soldier, he wasn't Sorcerer Supreme by Winter Soldier.
He was not? Or you 100% certain?
I believe I am.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Ancient One had already used the Aya Agamotto to see the future. She knew Doctor Strange was coming.
Yep.
They called Stephen Strange's name.
Yep.
Okay? But they never said how far out. It was after Avengers.
Right.
If we go based on the time frame, what was the first movie after Avengers? Iron Man 3.
Yes.
The following year was what?
I don't know the order.
Literally a year and a half to 2 years after is when the Soldier happened.
So therefore,
He could have been a magician, but not the Sorcerer Supreme yet.
so you're saying that, he was up there for years before he actually...
Yes, because
became
you don't
Sorcerer
know
Supreme.
how long he was up in Tibet before he became the Sorcerer Supreme.
That's a little weak, though. It's a little weak.
We don't know the timestamp. We can't say because of the
It's a
timestamp.
weak argument, man. It's a
No,
weak
your argument is a weak argument. Let me tell you why. Because you don't even know how many months went by. You don't even know how many years went by.
Well, the question is, did 5 years go by?
5 years does not go by.
5 years does not go by. So when they see her in Avengers, she said, "You guys are 5 years too early." When the Hulk is asking her for the time stone,
Okay.
she said, "You're like 5 years too early."
5 years from where you need to be.
Right.
Winter Soldier happened 5 years prior to Infinity War.
But it did happen. It did not happen 5 years after Avengers. So therefore, Stephen Strange, even if he was in Tibet, Hydra's looking at him?
Yes.
How would Hydra even know what's going on?
Hydra has
up
their
in there?
hands everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's a weak argument. It's a weak argument. But again, we go back to the timestamp. We don't know how long.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna. I will retract what I said about
okay,
it
but
being
let me
an
ask you a
error.
question. She said they were 5 years too early, right?
Yeah.
They went back to 2012 Avengers.
Yes.
So 5 years after that would have been when?
5 years after 2012
Yes.
would have been 2017.
What happened in 2017?
Don't know. But at the same time, we do know that Winter Soldier occurred less than 5 years.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What if he wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme then?
I'm saying he wasn't.
Okay, let's just say he wasn't. He wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme. Why were they looking at it?
That's my point. That's what I'm saying is that they shouldn't have put his name in that part. They shouldn't have dropped that nugget. because they didn't honor that particular nugget correctly.
If you pay attention, though, okay, to the actual part of, it's not the heroes that they're looking at, it's the people that would be a threat to Hydra.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure the Sorcerer Supreme knew how to keep out Hydra out of her camp. So he's going to be working and be training to be Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes, but what? Okay, being that he was the top neurologist in the country, right? Because that's what he was, right?
That still makes it kind of weak, though.
Hold on. What if he was going to be running or become? This is just me. What if he had the potential to become the Surgeon General?
Yeah, but the thing is that the context
the Surgeon General is up there with the president.
The context of the conversation where they were eyeing people that had special abilities. In the context of that conversation.
Not special abilities. Threats to Hydra.
Right.
Doesn't have to be special abilities.
Yeah, but I'm not going to bring up no Surgeon General because at the end of the day I can just shoot him.
Okay, what do you take on the part when they said the reporter in Cairo?
Moon Knight.
Mark Spector, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't Mark Spector at the time.
Well,
he was Mark Spector. He wasn't Moon Knight at the time.
But see, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, we may never get a Moon Knight movie. And so if we never get one, that's a nugget that they don't have to honor.
True. But just the fact that they had him in there is all that matters. Because now you know that he's in this universe.
See, I don't know anything about Moon Knight, so I can't... You're arguing from a position that I can't argue from. You know?
Your argument standpoint is from the time stamp.
Yeah. I think it's off.
But I also think you're looking at it like all the people that they were supposedly calling out were supposed to be people with special abilities. But if you look at the thing, when Hydra started pointing the guns, how many targets did they have?
Millions.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. But
those people, all the people that they had wasn't people with powers. They were people that could possibly be a threat.
But at the time, they were talking to a super soldier. Mm-hmm. So you're not
an elite assassin.
You're not going to mention people in that conversation that are people that you can just pop them with a gun and they be done, like a surgeon, someone who could be.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How important do you think Howard Stark was?
Well, Howard Stark was important just because of the fact that he was involved in the Captain America project.
Yes, but he was also involved in weapons. He made weapons and stuff, right?
True.
But if we took out the fact that he was involved in helping Cap become Cap, let's remove that.
But Sitwell didn't bring up Howard Stark.
He didn't.
Sitwell didn't even know who Howard Stark was. Sitwell was a baby at that time.
He was. But the people that Sitwell was talking about was ordinary people. Before Bruce Banner became the Hulk, what was he?
He was an ordinary person, but at that point, he was already, when they talked...
He was already a doctor, a physicist, and all that other stuff.
Right, and also had been exposed to gamma rays at that point.
At that time, yes, he was exposed to gamma. You see what I'm saying? But he didn't say the Incredible Hulk, he said Bruce Banner. He didn't say Doctor Strange, he said Stephen Strange.
Right, but at Stephen Strange as a threat, as a sorcerer, not as a doctor.
He didn't say as a sorcerer. So you don't even know.
Right? Man, when I saw that on the screen, I was like, oh, we're going to get a Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
That's what I knew.
And everybody did, because everybody realized that was a nugget that was placed there for people to be like, ooh.
I'm going to give me a Doctor Strange movie. And they did not disappoint.
They did not. So are you trying to tell me, #long game, that we're not going to see a Moon Knight? If they mention that, you're going to see a Moon Knight. So he might not be in these next two phases, but he is coming.
All right.
He's coming.
I'm not disagreeing that point. Because I don't know the future.
Yeah. They played a long game, and they played for a long time.
Yeah.
Black Panther came out in phase 3. Phase 3. Matter of fact, at the ending of phase 3.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They played his long game since phase 1.
I hadn't been involved heavy enough at that point. Like, I'd go make sure I saw the movies. Then there were some where I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to go see that movie. I might wait till that one comes on DVD. Because I wasn't really a big fan of Ant-Man and stuff like that.
Listen, Rebellious Minds himself will tell you.
Yeah.
He liked to do it. Man. And then later on...
I've changed. I've changed.
You see what I'm saying?
I think that, how reading the comics actually makes a difference.
Yeah.
When it comes to these things.
Yeah. But
Well-
Marvel never disappoints. And if they never disappoints and they keep going at the rate they're going and doing the things that they're doing,
Yeah.
and enforcing #long game
Yeah.
to where they can do great stories,
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna win. #winning. The
One-
#long game.
One day we're gonna talk about DC, but we won't be saying #long game, will we?
I don't know. I don't know. But we are going to have a DC segment. Wonder Woman 1984 is coming. So for all you Wonder Woman fans out there,
I am a Wonder Woman fan.
I'm going
That
to be
was hot.
bringing in a special guest. I guess you can call her a Wonder Woman historian / Wonder Woman cosplayer / Gal Gadot stunt double. How about that?
Oh.
Yes, we're gonna bring her in. Not the actual stunt double
Okay.
for the movie.
You had me. I was like, I'm showing up just because.
Just because.
Yeah.
But this person is a walking Wonder Woman encyclopedia,
That's awesome.
just like how I am with Black Panther.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna bring her in. She's gonna be talking about Wonder Woman enemies, the Wonder Woman movie, what we're gonna be expecting. So for all you Wonder Woman fans out there, get ready for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This has been a great show, guys. We want to thank you guys for tuning in with us on this podcast this evening, talking about rumors and #long game, and just enjoy the ride. Again, this is your boy, T'Challa BP74, and my man.
Keitano.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.
Good night.
Rebellious mind.